In this example, I'm going to show you how to use a Kafka, a sample example of a Kafka. Kafka is a streaming application. is very useful for process real-time message. Right, so this is my some instruction here. You can also view my other source code from GitHub. Once you download everything from GitHub, so I'm going to show you how to actually run this application. Right, from here you can see first we use a Docker image for this application. So everything is running in the Docker. So we have containers. So to run the Docker, so first of course you need to install Docker on your computer. So you can see I have Docker here. So once you have Docker installed, so to bring up the Docker image, what you need to do is actually just run this Docker compose from terminal. So we just run Docker compose up. So for Kafka, with this Docker compose up, basically they bring up a Zookeeper container and a Kafka broker container. Right, so then we can run everything from our local computer. To check if this the container is actually up and running or not, so you can go to the open terminal. So then we just say Docker container ls. Right, so you can see we have two container here already. Right, so up 31 seconds. So then we know this two container is up and running. Also from the terminal, you can see this information, so that can prove our container is up and running. So in this application, right, so if you go to source, so basically we have consumer and we have producer. Producer is the process to send a message to Kafka queue. In a real example, so the producer normally is in a different application. Then we also have consumer. Consumer basically is just to consume the message. So in this exercise, I put this one in the same application. So basically to mock this producer, so we can see what's the message sent through a producer, and then we can see the message come to the consumer. And the consumer, once consumer receives the message, the consumer will manipulate the data, and then you can do whatever action you want for this data. Right, so for this consumer, we have a mocked data. So like input.json, this is a JSON format. So this is a mocked data. Let's to run this to see this real time in action. Right, to run this producer, look package.json. Right, so we have two scripts. Right, one is the producer and one is consumer. Right, so if we run the npm run producer, that will run this producer. So basically this will start send the message. If we run npm run consumer, that start receive the message. Then we can see when message comes through to the queue, then just to verify that we actually get the message. So notice I open another terminal, so then we just run npm run producer. So what it does is actually this producer will send this message in the input.json. So we'll send so currently I have 1, 2, 3, 4 mock data. Right, so this will send this message one by one, and every second send the message one by one, and it's just a loop it. Right, so if we go through the terminal, you can see that I'm sending this message one by one. You can see the event ID 2, 3, 4. Then we go back loop again. So once we go to this producer, then we can open another terminal. Then we can say npm run consumer. See, because we already have some message in the queue, right? So that's you can see, we previously processed a lot of data. So then we can see events ID there's a 2 received, events ID there's a 3 received, events ID there's a 4 received. Here you can events ID given the 1 received, then we have alert here. So that is because if we go to the consumer.js, right? So you can see here, so when we run this consumer, actually we get this message. Every time we get a message, we run a function called filter passage info. Right, so from this filter passage info, we do some check. Right, so what in this example we say, if this body temperature is greater than or equal to 36.9 and this overseas travel history is true, then we return this JSON object. Otherwise, we return null. Right, so once it's true, then we print this alert. Then we'll say, hey, this passenger, we did take, just alert this passage information. From here, you can see we continue receive, because from the producer, we actually send this message every 5 seconds. You can see still continue send 2, 3, 4, right? So again, same here from the consumer, we can see when there's a 1 with meet our criteria, and then we print alert. Then we say there's a 2 received, 3 received, because this message doesn't meet our criteria, so we just simply ignore it. Right? Yeah, so this is a simple example to run the Kafka use Node.js.